Let me tell you what happened after the night an alien girl helped a farmer save his field. The storm passed, the sky cleared, and by sunrise the land looked better than it had in years. The soil was dark, rich, and humming with new life. But what really caught Jonah's eye wasn't the miracle field. It was her. The alien girl, Sera, was still working. Even after the danger was gone, she kept cutting, moving faster than any machine he'd ever owned. Her scythe sliced through the wheat like light through glass. Precise, perfect, effortless. By the time Jonah finished blinking, she had cleared another whole acre. He leaned on his old tractor, jaw hanging. You're faster than my whole fleet of harvesters, he muttered. She looked up, slightly confused. Fleet? He laughed. Means I'd fire every machine I own if you'd just stick around. Sera tilted her head, considering that. You would keep me? He nodded, half joking, half hopeful. Guess so. If you need a place to stay, I've got one. Now here's where it gets complicated. Out there, in that corner of the future world, trust was more dangerous than weather. Every farmer had heard of corporate harvest drones going rogue, or alien tech getting reclaimed by the companies that made them. Taking in an off-worlder could bring inspectors, data raids, or worse, confiscation of your land. Jonah knew that, but he also knew what he'd seen. A being who'd worked beside him all night just to help. Someone who didn't ask for payment, only purpose. And deep down, Jonah wasn't about to let someone that capable and kind sleep under the stars. After breakfast, black coffee and leftover pie, Jonah walked Sera toward the north edge of the property. The air smelled like rain and clean earth. Got something to show you? He said. They passed the main house, the barn, and then reached a smaller building half hidden by wild grass, a small, crooked farmhouse that had seen better decades. The paint was peeling, a few roof panels were dented from hail, and the porch sagged a little, but the windows still caught the morning light. Jonah kicked the door gently. Used to be my granddad's place. Nobody's lived here since my sister moved to the city. Needs a bit of work, but it's dry and quiet. You can stay here if you want. Sera stepped inside, careful as if the air itself might break. Dust motes floated in sunbeams cutting through the window. She traced a finger along the old wooden table, fascinated by the grain. This place remembers. Jonah smiled. Yeah, everything on this farm remembers something. Guess now it'll remember you too. Over the next few days, Sera turned the little house into something new. She repaired the cracked water lines with some strange metallic thread that shimmered when it dried. She polished the windows until they reflected the fields like mirrors. At night, Jonah saw a faint blue flicker from her window. She was calibrating the scythe, tuning it to earth soil. By the end of the week, she wasn't just a guest. She was part of the routine. Jonah would prep machinery in the barn while Sera handled the manual cuts. Fast, flawless, almost artistic. The other farmers across the valley started noticing. They'd stop their trucks at the fence line and squint. Jonah, one neighbor said, where'd you find that helper? She moves like a drone with a soul. Jonah only smiled. Just a friend passing through. One evening, he brought her a battered tablet full of old farming manuals. Thought you might like to see how we do things here. She studied it like scripture. You use instinct to decide planting density, she said, fascinated. We calculate this with sun equations. Jonah chuckled. We call it gut feeling. Sometimes that's more accurate than your equations. Sera nodded slowly. I wish my people knew how to feel like that. A month passed. The wheat was sold, the season officially over. Jonah had made more from that harvest than any year in memory. But when he walked into the north field one morning, the little farmhouse was quiet. The door was open and Sera was standing outside, staring at the sunrise. You planning to leave? He asked. She hesitated. Collectors will come again. If I stay, they may trace me here. Jonah looked out over the land, the fields stretching endless under the morning sky. Let them come, he said softly. You've earned this place. You gave it life again. She turned toward him, eyes bright but human warm. And you gave me shelter, she said. That is not a thing my kind understand. He took off his hat, scratched his head. Guess that makes us even, huh? She smiled, a real human smile this time. No, she said. It makes us home. Jonah walked back toward the barn, and when he glanced over his shoulder, he saw her kneeling in the dirt, bare hands pressed into the soil as if listening to its heartbeat. The morning light caught her hair, silver, but natural now, like any sun-blonde farmhand. For the first time in his life, Jonah realized that maybe alien wasn't the right word. Maybe she was just another piece of the world trying to belong somewhere, and from that day on, when the wind moved through the north field, it sounded a little bit like laughter, soft, steady, and human enough to make you smile. So yeah, that's what happened when the farmer gave the alien girl a home. She didn't just cut his crops faster. She taught him that sometimes the best thing you can plant is trust.